shit gun line. Yeah, you know that I'm on my grind. Yeah, I'm self-paid, self-employed. I gotta get paid, homie, I gotta get paid.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Self-Paid. You got your host, Dom.
Alex.
We're back here again. If we're in the same fits as the last podcast.
Yeah, I already
told you guys we're splitting this one up. So, you know, we're trying to knock two in one. The other one was what, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, 40 minutes. You know, minus the cuts, maybe add some cuts, 42 minutes. I don't know. But we're still drinking. We're still out the same type of alcohol. Welcome back.
Hell yeah.
This time, I'm going to be questioning Alex. And he's also going to get a truth or shot at the end of this video. So stay tuned because he's been drinking longer than I am.
Know about all that.
Actually, yeah, no. I took a couple shots on the last one.
No.
With that one, so.
Yeah.
All right.
You drink more than me.
Okay, we on. All right, we're gonna start our way. Just straight go into it. You know, I want you guys to also know about Alex. I want this, you know, to be something because this is my brother. This is where I get. This is like my mentor. So, if you guys want to know more of like my mindset, is because of this motherfucker right here. All right. Did you come from money, and what was your breakthrough achievement that started all this?
I think my story is very similar to Dom's upbringing, right? We moved here. So me, my family, my mom, my brother, my dad, we moved from Korea to the US 2001, like May. We lived in like one of our cousins' like master bedroom for a couple weeks. And yeah, I mean, we basically, long story short, like I had no money when we moved here. We had nothing. My mom worked really hard. She got us. I ended up living pretty comfortably towards like our middle school, give or take, middle school, high school. And then very similar to Dom, we lost it all. So I think it's a lie if I say I didn't have money. I did grow up pretty spoiled, I think, for the most part. Like, not spoiled, but like we had our own agreement, like my own agreement with my mom, but we grew up with a little bit of comfort and then we lost it all. And what's the part of the question? What does it say?
Your breakthrough and
my
breakthrough that
breakthrough
started all this.
My breakthrough, I think it started when I think I made my first adult decision,
Which was
to join the Marine Corps.
ooh.
I think, and again, it doesn't sound like it's a breakthrough because it didn't happen as soon as I joined, but
And little I want to add on to that
yeah.
a little bit. So, as you know by his eyes, he's Asian. Growing up, he obviously was like, you know, ahead of a lot of people, just like in the education, you know. He was very smart, you know. He had all that stuff going. So his mom and like his family, or his mom and dad, thought, you know, the college route, the straight go to the university, go do this. So yeah, his family wanted him to go to college, go to everything. So how was that like telling your mother you're not going to go to college, you're going to choose the Marine Corps instead?
Yeah, so I'll try to tie the first question and this together. I initially joined the Marine Corps just to pay for school. I didn't care about. I didn't ask for any. Really, I didn't have any other questions besides school was paid for. So that's why I joined. Which was that initial decision that we're talking about, breakthrough. Which is the decision I made, and then I think like a year in, I ended up transferring into a school, but I was still broke.
What school?
It's irrelevant. But I did transfer to a school that I did. That was my goal, to go to the school. I didn't even apply when I got out of high school because my grades weren't good enough. But I ended up being able to transfer, and then I told my mom like why I still had no money, and then an opportunity came up where I was going to go to Germany. I was newly 21, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was newly 21.
Yeah, give or take, like 6 months in.
Yeah,
right?
give or take. And then, mind you, I was still a student and, you know, in the Marine Corps. So when the opportunity came up where I was able to go to Germany and they were paying me a lot of money at the time. And I think even as like a salary 21-year-old, like I was getting almost 10 grand to experience Europe or Germany. So I was like,
mind you, at 21, that was 7 years ago.
yeah. So I did that, and then I told I went to Germany for a couple months, came back, and then my goal was to go back to school, but then I got activated for a year. I was in Japan for a year, which I was like, you know what, this is it. I'm not going to school. So the conversation was tough. I mean, it wasn't tough, but I was stubborn. I had made up my mind that I don't want to fall this far behind compared to my peers, because my peers were all already 1-2 years into university or into school, and I just felt like I was falling far behind, and I was like, you know what, there's another way to do it. It kind of hit me where I was gonna go to school for business, but it hit me where I thought if the professor was good at business,
Well, have a business.
he should be running a business. And my one of my friends at the time was telling me, he was like, you're gonna go to school to network, which is why I applied to the school anyway. But it ended up working out. Going back to the first question, I think it was a breakthrough because it allowed me to just have a little confidence in my decision, like my ability to make decision. And the part that's hard is a lot of the time you make decision and you don't know if it's the right or wrong decision, right? And knowing that I was able to make something out of that decision in particular is kind of what built my confidence and momentum in my ability to reach a certain goal. So,
All right.
yeah.
The first question out of the way. Even though that was a little deep for the first question when we got into it, the next question I have that's just followed up question that I start on here, is Paxton. Where did the name come from?
Paxton is my dog's name. So I think, yeah, you were there too when we got the dog, but I was very into American cars. Like my first car was a Mustang. Yeah, same. I mean, not your first car, but
Not my first car, but the first one I bought.
Yeah, and there was like a supercharger. It's called Paxton, and I was like, that's a sick name. So I named my dog Paxton. Fast forward, I don't know, 3-4 years. We started the company, and I remember I opened the business through my accountant, and my accountant told me like, hey, the hardest part is for you to pick a name. So I was like, okay, well, I want to open it ASAP. So I got home, and I remember as soon as I opened the door, Paxton was in front of me. And on the drive home, I'm thinking like, what should the name be? And then I saw Paxton. I was like, Paxton. And I went upstairs, and I was like, hey, what do you think of the name Paxton? And everyone's like, that's dumb as hell. That's dumb as hell.
Do you remember when you came up with the name already, and we're like infatuated with Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Yeah.
So it was like Shrine Oak Mod, and it was a lion. So I was making silhouettes of a Yorkie. Of a Yorkie, and then we were calling it Paxton. That was funny. Luckily, that's not the logo though.
I have all those
really?
logos saved because I one day I will post it. But yeah, he's been with us like from the very beginning, and he was making logos for Paxton, and we were like, we started taking inspiration from Wolf of Wall Street, and there was but yeah, that's where it came from. It's my dog. I have a little purse dog because when I lived in an apartment, they wouldn't allow us to have bigger dogs. I did want a dog, so yeah, I have a Yorkie named Paxton.
Yep. Okay, third question is gonna be, what did you do before the solar company? I know it was mainly like the military stuff.
Yeah, it was military. I was in the military, so I enlisted in the military 2014 in November. That's actually when I quit my job.
Like when graduated high school too.
Yeah, when we went to when we were at the restaurant together. But I enlisted, and then I shipped out a couple months later in 2015, and I was a diesel mechanic by trade when I went to the Marine Corps. That's what I did. I had a couple other jobs outside of that while in the Marine Corps, but yeah, I also worked part-time. I was a server still. I was a bartender, and I went to school.
Next question. It's kind of like, I just reread it. It's kind of like a 2 questions in one.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be, how did you start this company, and was this something that you've always wanted to do, or did something guide you?
How do we start the company? I have like a big, like, I'm gonna say this as humbly as possible. I do think that if I do put my mind to it, I can do it better than other people, right? And I think we all can kind of relate to that in some way, shape, or form. But I would always think like if he could do it, I could do it better, right? And there were some guys that we knew that seemed like they were doing well. So when I was in Japan at the time, and then all this came up where it wasn't something that I always obviously planned on. I didn't think it was sales. Like I think I even mentioned to you, I always wanted to be in business when I was younger, but I would always say I don't want to be in sales. And then I learned very quickly that sales and business, it's the same thing. But yeah, that's kind of how it happened, where when I first heard about solar, I was literally in my barracks, like in Japan, thinking about how do I make solar panels. I did not think that it was, again, I like we talk about being smart. I don't think that I had any idea of what I was entering into, but I was very stubborn on I will make it happen because I know I can do it better. Right. And that's how it started. I ended up coming back. We started knocking doors, trying to get clients for solar sales. And then, you know, things happened where it didn't work out for, you know, there's some issues that arose, and then I was not forced to, but it just made sense to start it ourselves. And then, Dom, my brother, Ryan, were like the OG four that started everything from the living room, the Starbucks. Like I have pictures of this dude teaching some guys at Starbucks while the guys and like the employees in the back are like picking up chairs to close down shop. So,
oh yeah, literally. Yeah. Is that something you always wanted to do?
Yeah. Is business something I always wanted to do? Yes, 100%. Did I have any idea what business was? No. You always think like business is like the sexy business, like having stores or whatnot.
Having a business is fucking, oh my God.
Yeah. And so I did want business. I didn't think that I would be in this industry. I just, you know, like my mom was in like the fashion industry. So I think I was brought up around some level of business, but definitely it's a yes or no answer, just because I did want to be in business. I just didn't think I'd be in this industry.
Okay. Did someone guide you through all this?
That's something that I do struggle with. I don't think that, I think guidance is the wrong word. I do have guidance, but I found my own sense of guidance. So if you're talking about, did I have a mentor early on? I had mentors outside of business. I had like people who were in the Marine Corps teaching me, you know, how life works, right? But I didn't have someone who I could tell them like, hey, this is what my company went through this quarter. How do I bounce back, or how do I do this? I didn't have that. I did have you. I had Daniel. I had Ryan. And I know like the advice is to find a mentor early on. And if that's the only thing that's stopping you, I think that's the wrong thing. I think you can still start regardless, because I did find guidance I found comfort in, I have 3 guys that will push no matter what. Right. And then I heard this recently where they were like, I would rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. So you don't need 100 people supporting you or guiding you. I literally had, 3 guys who, no matter what, in my head, I was like, okay, well, if I slack, like they're going to feel it. And if they slack, I'll feel it. And so we kind of pushed each other in that sense.
Damn. As far as that got me shook. I wanted to add this question in there. It's not on here, but I wanted to also add the military kind of instill some type of, not leadership, but some type of discipline in your life that you can take from the military and that helped you build the business?
Yeah, so it's yes and no. So obviously I grew up in like a very traditional Asian culture, right? And there's jokes about it all the time. It's discipline, right? But I did have a younger brother who again he's he's not a baby,
Nah.
but at the time, obviously when we were growing up, he's 3 years younger than me. I did take a lot of accountability from having a younger brother. So I think when I was younger, I would always feel the pressure of like trying to set a good example because that's what I was told, that I have to set a good example. And there are things that I wish I could have done that I didn't do because of that, but it did teach me accountability. And I think that's important in business is accountability. Like, and then in the Marine Corps, I learned not so much like, yeah, leadership too. Like the Marine Corps taught me a lot, but how to like small unit leadership. I think that's what the Marine Corps strives on is small unit leadership. Instead of having very higher ranking people run things, the Marine Corps allows lower ranking Marines to run shop. And so that brought me a lot of confidence in I'm able to handle 26, 30 Marines and place them where I need to and get certain missions done. And so I kind of transferred that over to how we operate, right? And like we all have, basically it's run like mentor mentee, but I did learn that from the Marine Corps.
Cool. Something I wanted to add in there because a lot of people probably are watching have that. Do you recommend they go to the military if they're thinking about it?
So I joined the Marine Corps because I had an ego. Like I had this conversation with somebody recently. He's a 19-year-old wanting to join the Marine Corps. We're on the fence about joining a military branch. And my mom would always tell me, like when she bought into the idea that I was enlisting into the Marine Corps, I would have conversations with her where she would say like, why don't you join the Air Force? And I'm not hating on any other branch, but the Marines are better.
I was about to say, but yeah.
But she would tell me like, you can go to the Air Force, you can go to the Navy and whatever the case is. And in my head, I didn't want people talking shit to me. I didn't want them saying like, oh, you know, there's a harder thing over here.
Yeah.
You went that way. And my mom, obviously being my mom, she's like, it's the same benefits, same money, same everything. Why not just take this easier route? And I was like, they just look cooler.
Yeah.
Like they look cooler. And I didn't want, like, again, like me and Daniel, we always talk shit when, like, we had a client who was in the Navy just recently. And I think you saw those messages in the chat where one of the guys, he was at our client's house and we found out he was in the Navy, and I was talking shit to him and vice versa. Like we had that camaraderie, but I just didn't want people to say like, you know, there was something harder, but you bitched out.
Right.
Which is why. So long story short, I would recommend people joining the military.
Marine Corps branch.
The Marine Corps is what I know. So the Marine Corps is what I'm going to speak about. I have met great dudes outside of the Marine Corps who I think there's a lot of people in service that get out that do well. But I heard this thing where they said like the Marine Corps has the highest success rate per capita, meaning like we are the smallest branch, but we produce the most successful people. That
kind of ties in with the 4 quarters and 100 pennies.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I can be a part of that. And that's what I heard. I remember the recruiting pitch, and they were talking about something about Fortune 500 companies. There's 100 something CEOs in those Fortune 500 companies, and 100 some X amount are Marine Corps vets. And I was like, oh, well, I can be another one.
Literally.
And yeah, but I would recommend it. I don't think it's like, I think there's a misconception of people thinking they're joining the Marine Corps because it's the only option that they have. I had other options, don't get me wrong. But I still, out of high school, I had acceptance letters to go to college, where I chose not to because
what schools?
I don't remember, like UC Irvine or some like, yeah. But that's not where I wanted to go. I remember my first acceptance letter came in. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings in Burbank or Glendale, wherever that is, next to AMC. And I got my first letter, like email, and I was like, damn, I am smart. No, but I decided like I don't want to go there. Like I did feel like I was settling. And I don't know if you saw the podcast we had with Angel where he had that conversation about he felt like he was settling, and so it hit him. That's kind of how I felt, where that's not the school I wanted to go to, which is why at the time the Marine Corps wasn't even an option for me. right? I just said, you know what, like I'll just go to community college. So I did, and then the Marine Corps happened.
Let's get into this next one. It's gonna like kind of bring off topic a little bit. I mean, obviously we're in
Random
the whole
questions.
thing is questions, but the next one is gonna be what are your short term goals? The next question is gonna be what are your big long term goals? Start with short.
Short term goals within a year.
Let's say within a year.
Yeah, I mean, so myself, Dom, my brother, we do have a second company. We haven't touched, and we've touched, but I do want to be able to get into multiple properties here shortly. I don't think it's about timing market, but I guess short term. I have two goals. One for Paxton as a company, solar company. I do want to be able to hit, 100 deals a month. I think it did hit me where earlier in July or late June of this year, we exceeded last year's yearly number. So
In the 6 month?
in 6 months,
6 months.
yeah, so half the time. So we did grow. I do
Hold on,
want
wait, take that in a little bit.
yeah.
A whole year's worth of sales. You did this year in 6 months.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
again, I would always think too, though, like there are other companies who do X amount
right.
more, but I think what did help, again, this isn't to answer the question, but we had a coaching call with Andy Frisella, and I had a conversation where I told him, hey, this is what I go through. I feel like sometimes I feel like an imposter because sometimes I feel like I'm not qualified to sit where I sit because I know there are other people who can be better, and all I have is like I'm gonna fucking make it work, right? But he did say something to me where it hit me where I'm extremely proud of where we came from because our first year in business we did $8,603. I should get it framed because I have the tax record in my office, but we did $8,603, and then it was like the third year or so we did like 14 million or something like that, and like that makes me happy. That means like that's obviously not like me. That's like the team that did it.
Yeah, the growth and overall from starting from that Starbucks to doing that first year and fucking having that 8,000 to
So our goal, my short-term goal is to be able to grow at. I used to be obsessed with exponential growth, and I still am. Like I want to be able to grow fast, but I do want to be able to continue to grow, whether that means another double the deals or whatever the case is. Long-term goal, we talked about it in Dom's portion, but I think something that I did enjoy about the Marine Corps was I was able to be with my friends all the time, right? Meaning I could wake up and knock the next door and be like, let's go to the gym.
Yeah.
Right. But have our space, the goal, we want skyscrapers. Like we have like pictures of, we took pictures of like the LA skyline where we draw in our little skyscraper. But I do want to be able to have like the top 10, however many floors turn into where we can live. Right. And then, everything else office space. Yeah.
Okay. If you could
A lot of cars. I want a lot of cars.
Yeah, I know this guy wants a lot of cars.
Yeah.
Like a lot of cars.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not really
him.
into cars like that. He was a Motor T. So
Yeah, he's into jets and shit. No,
huh?
I'm just kidding.
I'd be down for a jet. You feel me? No, that'll be the corporate jet for sure. Tax write off. But if you could tell yourself something 5-10 years ago, what lesson would that be?
Balance. You don't need balance. I don't believe in balance. Like, I think especially because again, you're talking about 5-10 years ago when you're just dealing with the struggles of I'm newly, like 21 or whatever the case is. Again,
Right.
I was.
Well, I mean, for us, yeah.
Yeah. So,
we're old.
I mean, again, I don't think you're starting business in 8th grade. I mean, maybe you are. Like, I have some hustlers selling lemonade and shit.
No, I was selling shirts and fucking.
Yeah. I mean, at a scale. So
Yeah, but not like that.
what I struggled with was like feeling bad about like I'm missing out on shit because I'm here doing this. But I've heard it recently and many times before, but I don't believe in balance in when you're trying to grow. Like you don't. I think when you're younger, you're trying to balance the social norms of going out and hanging with your friends, and then a lot of time you feel disconnect. Especially, I'm sure you felt the same way, where some of your friends couldn't relate to what you were going through, right? But
The late nights, the just
yeah, or not being able to
able
go out
even
because you're
reply
tired.
to them or whatever.
And just buy into the fact that it's going to require work. If you buy into the fact that it will take more work than you can think it'll take right now, you'll get it there. Like I had this conversation with some of our younger guys yesterday, but it's like this is not the best analogy, but it's like playing slots, right? If you stand and pull it long enough, you'll hit, right? And a lot of the time you'll hear stories of like, yo, I was on the slot machine for X amount of hours, I bounced, and then the next guy hit it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe in that. Like I believe in if you stick around long enough and persevere long enough, you'll hit, right? And
Right.
yeah, that's kind of advice. Like at least one thing I would say is to just push.
And going along with that question, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and go into the importance of mental strength and correlation to success.
I think mental strength is the most important aspect of business, right? I think business is just like life, right? It's like you can relate it to fitness, you can relate it to the gym. I relate it to skateboarding or whatever it is that you want to, but it's the business is very level. Like you don't, I said this earlier, but you don't need to have come from a family that had business to be successful in business. You don't have to, you can speak completely different languages. You can have whatever upbringing you can. And what I believe is it's very level, meaning as long as you have the fortitude to continue, I think you'll do well. I don't think you'll do well. I know you'll do well. And I do know, like, even I'm sure you know a lot of people who start business and then, you know, they're young guys who want to talk about, I have 6 different businesses, but
and I've been there. I've been that person that, you know, I tried so many things that did not work, and
yeah,
you know, to going along with what you're saying.
No, but
You know?
again, like I'm not talking down on it. I think like your path and my path, it complements each other, right? Because there are things where I was able to learn from Dom from a third point of view where I'm like, okay, well, that's probably what I shouldn't do. Or that's not a business that I would do, and so on. Maybe it was a thought that we had and so on. But I don't think that it's like Ed Milet says it, where he says, like, if you want to play baseball only and you dedicate all your time to being good at baseball, and then I dedicate half my time to learning how to play violin and the other half in baseball, I'll never beat you.
Yeah.
Ever. Even if I'm better right now, there's going to come a point where I'll never catch them. Right. And it's those moments where I'm sure, you know, even to this day, like there are times where I just don't want to do anything. There are times where like I recently, I lost a good amount of money. Yeah. And there are moments where I was like, damn, like that went by so fast. Like again, like I'll say, I'm not gonna tell you the exact number. I lost 6 figures in a quick bit, and it wasn't something where, like, of course I'm like, well, what the hell? Like in my head, I'm like, if I had it back, I would give it all away. Like that's what I'm thinking now. If I had it back right now, I would give everything away. But there are moments where everyone thinks like once you get to a certain point, you'll always be like, you'll be set, but you still deal with problems even when you get to the next milestone. And the mental fortitude is kind of what helps you, is what bridges that gap between success and not. So that's what I believe.
How does failures turn into success? Okay.
Failures and success. I think you have to fail to win. And I know you hear that all the time, but there's
maybe not even all the time though.
What do you mean?
I feel like a lot of people don't even understand the fact that, You know,
Yeah.
sometimes your back needs to be against the wall.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Like, again, I think everyone interprets it a little bit different. There's some things that I wouldn't do that some people have done that have worked for them. But failure is a part of winning. Like, there's stats everywhere. Like, Michael Jordan missed X amount of free throws and or whatever game-winning shots. But it is failure. Like, failure is what gets you to that next point. And then we're tying it back into mental fortitude. It's the ability to continue even after failing.
Yep.
Right? Because when you start, like, I remember the first time I thought about like opening a business, like an actual company. I thought about making gum, like chewing gum, bro.
There's another thing too.
What?
You remember? Is how to run engines off of hydro or
Oh
out of
yeah,
water.
yeah.
That was another thing.
Yeah,
too.
so I was thinking some crazy weird things, but I remember one time, like, I was like, dude, my idea is genius. Right? And I haven't asked anybody about it, but in starting business, you think like it'll work. There's no way it won't work. I ended up buying all this like material to make gum.
I remember,
and I was like, I remember like rolling shit out like out of my crappy ass kitchen. I'm like, yeah, this ain't working. And I quit. And I quit immediately. I was like, I don't know how to make gum.
How did you know that wasn't it?
I didn't know that it wasn't it. I just, to this day, I'm like, if they come out with it, just know
That was my idea.
That was
too.
my idea.
Yeah, I mean, my grandpa says the same shit too. It's like when diapers were around, he used to put clips on, like, you know how they used to put clips on the diapers. He was like, one day they're gonna have a tape thing where it's gonna be able to be on top. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't take the credit for that one.
But I'm not saying that the gum idea was the best example, but I do think that if I did push, I would have had sales.
Yeah.
Whether it was $1 or not, like I would have had something. And failures, yeah, that's part of it, where I learned, like, oh, in that moment, I was like, maybe I'm not cut out for this, or maybe I got to try a different route. But the thing is, instead of trying out 6 different companies or 6 different businesses, just try one. Not even try, that's the wrong word. Like, just push one and fail through it. And eventually you'll get to the point where it worked out for you. Yeah. But failures, I failed a lot of times. I failed by my own mistakes a lot of times. But we push.
Yeah, facts. This next question is something that, like, I really wanted to ask you too, because I know it, like, I know you kind of like brought this lesson onto me too, so I want you to bring it onto other people too. Juggling business and pleasure at a young age. Because we've both been there, we both done it.
Yeah.
I know you know. Now you can talk about it.
I learned this a couple years ago. And it's there. Well, at least this is what I've learned. Again, there's plenty of people out there who might think different, but there's, in my head, 2 types of people that enter business. There's the type of person who will enter business to support his lifestyle. And then there's the other type of person who will start business to grow. Right. And that's actually something I learned from you, where every time, like, Cookies would make a lot of money, he would say, it's all back in inventory. Everything's back in inventory. Whereas you have the younger guys who
Took half of that and went to the club.
yeah, and like they made the same amount of money, if not less, but they spent more, right? And in terms of juggling that, like, you have to decide, like, why you're in business. And I do believe, like, if you're in business just to support a lifestyle, it's going to get pretty draining, right? Because there are times, even years ago, where I could have bought a lot of dumb things, and I chose not to because of what I've heard. And I'm glad that I made those decisions. Granted, we know people who had a lot of money to support a lifestyle, and they're not there anymore, unfortunately.
And they're still trying to support that lifestyle.
Yeah. So understand, like, in terms of, like, why you want to start the business anyway. And again, very early on, my thing was we grew up with money, we grew up with no money, and obviously you want the money, or you want the comfort, or whatever the case is. But I think as I continued, I began to realize it's beyond that, and it's now I'm able to give, right? I'm supporting my lifestyle. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I live above my means. I don't really spend a lot of money on me personally anyway, but it is the juggling factor about being young. It is enticing. It's like you see the guy next to you. He's like, oh, he's got a nice chain on or whatever the case is. And when I was younger, like the nice, buzz down watches were cool. Now I'm like, it's irrelevant. Like it's irrelevant to me.
It's not even an investment. It's going to devalue. It's not going to go up in value, you know?
Yeah. And again, if that's what you're into, like, so be it. Like, that's good for you. I'm just saying, like, there are two types of being able to juggle that. I do believe in longevity, right? I've said it before where it's not impressive that you made X amount of money quickly if you're going to lose it all.
Literally.
Yeah. It's more important that you're able to keep that and sustain something where the people you love can benefit from, right? But in terms of juggling youth, I've already bought into the fact that, like, this is my time. I am enjoying my youth because I'm building something with people I love. Like, I think about it all the time where I'm able to come in to this office, to this building and fuck around with the same people that I've messed around with outside the office in my whole life, right? And being able to grow that together, it is important, or not important, but it is meaningful to me. But in terms of juggling, you shouldn't have to. I don't believe in trying to juggle it. I think just if you're going to start a business, commit to the business. I've lost lots of relationships because of that. I'm not saying that I'm the best example in how to sustain that, but I've made my choice on this is how I want my life to be, and I'll make it happen. Yeah.
What motivates you? How to dig deeper within oneself?
I'll use the three of you, Dom, Daniel, Ryan, as an example. There's plenty of other people within the company that will teach you so much, and they're so young. But Daniel, let's start with Daniel. Daniel, you knew him. If you don't know, I was in North Carolina for like 6-7 months, and he's the dude that would take care of everything for me. And we were young too. We were like 19, 20, I think, right? 20 years old, or give or take. And Daniel came from he wasn't your ideal high school student. No, right? He was doing dumb things.
And I want to have him on the podcast so he can explain himself a little bit.
Yeah. But he, like, seeing how he changed his life. He tells a story that it does hit me in a sense, where he said that there was a point in time where he was with his friends and he was hungry, and they went to a restaurant, but he didn't have any money. So he was telling them, I'm not hungry, and was watching them eat. As soon as they bounced, he went to Jack in the Box and bought dollar tacos. Yeah. That's all he had. And then I hear stories like that, where if you see his life now, you see that they're capable of whatever it is that they put their mind to. It's the same thing, like your level of resilience. And I'm talking about this dude, where it doesn't matter how, like, I think a lot of people, you can learn a lot from not quitting. And I think like it's a big asset in terms of, hey, I've been there, I've been through that, and you can provide a lot of just valuable experience that, again, we deal with a lot of young guys, like 20-year-old, 19-year-olds.
21, youngest 19,
19, and
like 23.
Being able to provide that is something that again, we talked about mentoring, like we didn't have that.
Yeah.
Right. And just the level of resilience, that the relentlessness we talk about that you're able to bring to the table, whether it was success or failure,
right?
That keeps me driven.
Well, one thing I kind of do want to add on that is sometimes, actually, I mean, it's all the time. Having young people around you, it's good to have them. In a way where it's not, the party shit and whatever, but it's good to have them to feed off their knowledge and stuff like that. Because even when I had my subscription company, I didn't know what Supreme was until
I remember you telling me that. I remember you telling me I like being around young guys because they know what's in now.
Yeah,
in terms of that aspect.
Yeah, like they're, and then even like, for example, like Juan, Miguel, and stuff like that. They're into stocks, or Juan is into stocks a lot more. So he's reading up on a lot of shit where it's just like, it's good to like pick their brains and stuff like that, that they want to do shit like that.
Yeah, I think the way that I see it, this is what I tell everyone, like, especially who start here. I don't care how old you are. I'm not telling you to forget what you think you know. What I'm saying is you're able to learn from anybody, right?
Right.
Even if they're 19, you're able to learn something from someone. And the moment I think you cut it off where it's like, dude, I'm 28, 27. What do I have to learn from you?
Right.
Like, you're going to stunt yourself.
Right. Exactly.
So I do enjoy being around young guys. Don't get me wrong.
We keep us young.
Calling us old and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, they're over here. Like, you're pushing 30, bro. Like, stop it. Bro.
But yeah. What was the question?
No, that was just me.
Yeah.
I was just throwing that one in there.
Yeah.
You know, in case there's any 27-year-olds out there, I'm about to be 28 over here. You know, listening to this podcast, surround yourself by your little youngins. Sometimes you might learn something. Another question I wanted to ask that I hearted on this one. How long did it get to get your first property? Your first rental property, sorry.
Right. So I was newly 19. Like, I was literally
wait, really?
Yeah, I was
Holy shit.
newly
Fuck.
19, and I walked into the
Fuck, it's been
recruiting
that long?
office. Yeah. Wait, what are you talking about?
Oh, I was thinking about the rental property.
No.
I was like, no way.
No. I'm talking about my age. So I'm taking it back a couple of years for you.
Go ahead. Sorry,
where
my bad.
at 19, I got a phone call from a recruiter, the Marine Corps recruiter, and he was talking about, you know, hey, there's money for school, 180,000, blah, blah. And I was like, what the hell? I'll be there. So I got there at 19. I decided to enlist, and then I was like 2, 3, 4 days into being 19. So I was and I remember, like, I don't believe, just so I can preface this, I don't believe in like stars aligning and shit. Like, I don't believe in, I get asked all the time, when's your birthday? What's your freaking, what is it called? The asparagus sign.
If you follow him, he'll be like, what's your asparagus sign?
Yeah. And I make jokes about it. Don't get me wrong. If you believe it, so be it. But I don't believe in any of that, but I do believe in manifesting / work. I don't believe in just manifesting, but I do believe in the power of thought, right? So at 19, I enlisted and I said, you know what? I will buy a house before I'm 24. I would always say that, before I'm 24. I don't know how that number came to being, but in my head at 19, I was like, if I give myself under 5 years, I can buy a house. I wasn't making any money, but I was able to save pretty well. It took me a long time, obviously, to save the money, but when we started working, like my first job was $7 an hour, $7.50 an hour, and I would work 42, 44 hours a week as a high school student, making, what is that, $340 after tax every 2 weeks, working more than full time. But it came to a point where I learned, I didn't know that at the time, but I learned now that you're closer than you think you are, but distractions will ruin that for you. Meaning, I saved up a little bit of money and I was distracted by this shiny object, so I spent some money there, and now you're back down a little bit. You bring it back up and you're coming back down. Whereas if you believe, like, it started to hit me where I started to save. Japan is kind of what helped me. Germany, it was Germany, then Japan, where right after the other, I wasn't spending any money. I was working every single day.
Just collecting. And
I was just collecting money. It hit me where I was like, I'm so close. Like, I actually was able to save money. Like, I'm so close. But I understand not a lot of people are in that position where they're making money just to pocket it, because obviously I lived in the barracks and so on. So I didn't really have rent to pay or anything. But you have to understand you're closer than you think. And if your goal is to buy a car, right? And we can talk about a car. Like, if that's your goal, is to buy a car or a house, I think that's more important. And it's to buy a house, and you need $300,000 to save, to put down. Goddamn. Well, whatever, right? Start with where you're at now. Like, it's not, when you save money, don't get distracted by, because it's easy to be like, you know what, there was a point where I had $1,000, you saved 30,000.
I gotta buy this.
And you're like, I can afford to buy it. And you spend $5,000.
Or my friend has it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I need to
and
get
so
it.
on. And so you're shooting yourself in the foot, because if it is that important to you, nothing else will matter, right?
Facts.
So don't get distracted, because you got to 30, then you can get to 90, then you can get to 200 and so on. And by the time, you'll be at 300 faster than you think, right? And I did do that, where I'm like, I have money saved. Let's go buy a bike. And I was young. I'm like, oh, I have this. Like, let's go buy this. But if I didn't do that, and so on. But yeah, I ended up buying my first house. I was 23. It was like April. I bought it in April.
Yeah, before summer.
Yeah, I bought it in April. And I lived there for like a year and a half, give or take. And then I was like, you know what? I could rent it. So that's how that happened. It didn't. I was very big on like, you know, buying a house because it's yours and it's now your house. My mentality shifted a little bit as I started business, where I was like, I could rent this. I would rather rent
residual.
it. Yeah.
Pay for like, you know.
So yeah, I think
mortgage and some.
I was like 24 or something.
Fire. When do you see yourself getting the next house?
Well, you guys, that's what I've been telling you guys all the time.
Quad.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, those are the questions that I had today. We're everybody about like maybe 45 minutes in.
Are we?
Fast, huh?
Damn,
Fast.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, our podcast go by. It's just simple conversation, but to us, it's like, no way, we've been here for 30, 45 minutes already.
Look at the shots ready.
Literally. So the next segment is I'm excited for. I'm telling you, we've already been drinking since my last podcast, so we're about like an hour and a half in. So I was using an iPad. I don't know if you guys can see the iPad, but I was using the iPad and I was communicating with Mario on the other end. So sometimes if you didn't see me zoning out, I'm just like, I'm trying to, you know, I told him like juice up some questions for this guy real quick. So we're gonna get into the truth or shot with Alex. Shout out that truth or shot.
Dumb as hell for that one.
I didn't type any questions because I'm a little lit right now, so I will probably ask him like stupid questions. But he got some questions for you. Let's get to it.
You want to take some beginning shots, Alex?
Fuck. Oh man, it's fucked up.
Oh, you stayed on the whiskey?
Yeah, there's more right there.
I mixed my shit.
You want some?
Nope. I'm nervous for him.
All right.
Let's get it going. All right, here we go. I'm excited for this. Come on.
Idiot.
Let me listen on this one. Because these are the questions I probably won't ask as a friend.
Go.
Me, him.
Oh.
We got 12 questions, so you may.
12? You had 11.
That fucking yellow mark.
Fuck.
We got 12 questions in
I
here, so you
shouldn't
may
do
end up taking 12 shots. Question 1: why did you break up with your last girlfriend?
That's foul. No, I'll answer that. No, she's a great girl. Don't get me wrong. She's a great girl. I just don't think we saw eye to eye on a lot of things. And that's okay. But I don't really have anything like bad to say. I just don't think that we worked. Like in the beginning it worked out, and I just think as like
beginning stages, puppy love, and
yeah,
like, you know,
sure, yeah. But I don't know. I think, you could blame me. Fuck it, you could blame me. I think that this is the thing, and I think you can relate to it. When I wake up, I think about work. When I'm at work, this is what I do. When I get home, I think about work. So there are times where maybe she felt like I wasn't there, and I'll attest to that. Like, yeah, there's some times where I just wasn't like available, and we just didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. Like in my head, I was always brought up with the important. Like my mom is who raised me, and again, I come from a very traditional household, right? Where my mom would always say, like, she would tell me things like, as a man, if you can't provide, like, you're useless. And so that's kind of what stuck with me, where I'm like, okay, well, I do take pride in the fact that I can provide. And I realized that's not important to some people, where they just want like time and shit. But I guess I'll get to that point when I have what I want. But it wasn't what worked at the time. She did support me and cater to me all the time. Yeah, but that's why.
I see eye to eye.
Yeah, that's why.
All right.
But yeah.
All right. Question 2: what are your biggest turn-offs and biggest turn-ons?
Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna take it in a different sense. I do think it's nice when the girl has a good relationship with her dad. So none of this crazy shit Dom said, but
I'm weird things sexual shit.
Yeah, I do think it's nice when they have a good relationship with their parents, their dad. I like when they smell good. Okay, fuck, I don't know.
I can actually see the parent shit.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like I think I'm at a point where I'm not like dating to date. I'm not dating to marry either, but like I don't really. I think I've been in a couple of relationships, not a lot, but I've been in relationships where they weren't short.
Right.
Yeah, and
Yeah, like flings.
I mean, I've had those. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't treat them like girlfriends. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not
yeah.
like, dude. I've been mean before too. Don't get me wrong, but so when I do see like a girl is like good with their parents or good with their dad. Again, I'm talking about a girl, but I do like that they have good relationships with their parents and then their dad. Smelling nice. I think that's like a fucking plus. Turn offs. Fuck. It's a lot. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I think like I like a lady. Like I don't like those ratchet ones. Yeah. I don't like I don't like rowdy. Yeah.
Little Nissan.
Yeah. So we'll keep it like that.
All right, question 3. What's your favorite porn category?
Fuck. I don't remember the fucking. What did you say, MILFs?
Like when I used to watch porn.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't really watched porn either. I mean, I've had girlfriends, so. When I was.
BBB?
I don't know. Fucking. Latina? I don't fucking
Latina
know.
for
Yeah.
sure. Who loves the Latinas?
Yeah. I love the spice. Nah, I used to say I love spicy shit. Fuck no. Can't deal with that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Nah, Hispanic?
Good hearted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question 4. When was the last time you sent or received a naughty picture?
You sent to me yesterday?
Huh?
Oh, shit. Well, like a month, 2 months. In terms of, I haven't sent. I don't really send shit.
Yeah, but receive.
Fuck. You sent it me yesterday? Yeah, yesterday.
Nah,
Last night?
I know you were okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to say it.
You gonna claim a dry streak?
Huh?
He's gonna claim a dry
I'm
She's
streak.
gonna claim a dry streak.
I'm a fucking sure.
Yeah.
I already drank to that, so.
All right. Question 5. Do you prefer sex with the lights on or off?
I think dimmed. Dim.
Like, do you still want to see some shit?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the eyes.
Huh?
The eyes.
Thighs.
Eyes.
Oh, you stupid ass. No.
Still gotta see shit.
No, I mean, like, if you're saying like lights off, like darkness, nah, I mean, it's cool, but I do like being able to see shit. So,
A little bit.
Yeah, dimmed.
Dimmed.
Yeah.
Get in the mood.
Yeah, light in the mood. Put a little fucking candle.
Ooh, all right, man.
Music
Not
or
bad.
music off?
I don't give a fuck.
Whatever's in the moment.
No, I like hearing her.
Okay,
Mm.
bet.
Yeah.
I like that. Stop it.
Just slap it.
Come on.
What's your biggest fantasy in the bedroom?
Shout out that three.
Fuck, I haven't even thought about it.
Nah.
I'll take a fucking sip.
Yeah, I took a sip of that one too. Did I? Right? I did.
Nah, you didn't.
What did I say?
All right. What's the freakiest thing you've ever done sexually?
Is that the same question as like the weirdest place, or is that the? Is
Nah,
there a
there's
different
another one
question?
after that too.
Fuck.
You know what's crazy too? The last one I was my dad's wedding.
No, I did some weird shit. Like, I think it was after like my Miami shit.
The anal beads.
Idiot. Not hell no. Wait, to me? Fuck no. No. I'll take a drink for that.
All right. Taking a drink down. Sorry. Exclude that one out there.
I'll finish everything in there. How many sex toys do you own?
I'm just kidding. I don't own any.
If you could own one, which one would you own?
What the fuck would I own though? Like, what do guys own?
Pocket pussy.
Oh, speaking of that, this is completely irrelevant. When I was in the Marine Corps, there was 3 dudes who shared one.
Oh my god.
Swear to God.
Bro, when I used to, okay, so when I was doing, okay, you know what? I must just share this story too.
Go.
So when I was living with Chris, Adrian, and all them, right? At the time, I was doing the Supreme shit. Antisocial was big at the time.
Yeah.
They dropped the antisocial pocket pussy.
Oh, I remember that.
I just wanted to see what it was like, you know? So I tried it. I left it in the bathroom on top of the counter. Jacinda found that.
Damn.
And it was just told the whole house. And I was like,
No, I mean I've had
I tried the pocket pussy though.
Was it fire?
Yeah, she was cool.
Yeah, that shit was fire.
And then at the time it was like some VR shit, like not the
Oh god,
not the VR that
the VR,
not
with
the
the
VR
bathroom.
that we had, like the like it had like a I don't know why I had like this little box where you could put your phone in.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
And then you just put it around your ears. That shit was sick.
Idiot.
Did you lube it up or what?
No.
Nah,
It was, I think it already came lubed up.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it came already like ready to go. I was like, all right.
Idiot. Nah, I've had like fucking. I mean, I didn't buy them. I don't own any personally.
Nah,
And
no,
if
I
I
go.
used
No,
them-
I go. When I start dating a girl, like we go
Yeah.
to the sex store and be like, yo, you gotta get this little bullet.
Yeah.
You gotta get this. Like
Yeah,
that.
I've
And
had
then,
that. Like
You
the
know,
little
that's
fucking,
their
the-
shit. You know.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
little baby shit. The
little
little
bullet. Yeah.
It looks like a bullet. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then fucking little handcuffs and shit, ropes.
easy, all that basic shit.
Yeah.
You know. We're
Yeah.
good. Might get a little good.
I don't own a single fucking one. Let's make that fucking clear.
You don't got the one that hangs onto the door and then like it's a rope. and
Dude,
you
cut that out. No, I'm just kidding.
But if you could, you would own a pocket pussy.
I mean, I could. Let's go buy one right now. What the hell? No,
Yeah, we
I've never bought it. Like that's what I was telling you. The three guys, they would fucking ask around, like, dude, you gotta try this. Like, bitch, I'm not.
you know what? That's also from a scene from Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, bro. That's what I remember.
This shit's from Bosnia.
That went through war and shit.
Yeah, no cap.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't watched that fucking show, watch that shit.
Yeah, it's funny.
We might cut that out.
All right, next one. Have you ever had a sneaky link? If so, how many at the same time?
Nah, I have never. I'm damn. You know, I'm pretty good about that.
Okay, so man's loyal as hell. But
yeah. He's
not
a
saying that I'm not, you know, but
Yeah,
he's
you're
more
loyal.
loyal than I am. But do you, even though you're single, do you have sneaky links? Like, you know?
But we talked about it, right? Sneaky link is if you're with a girl or with a girlfriend.
Nah, sneaky
Yeah,
links.
correct. So then in that case, the sneaky link would be, have you cheated? So that would be a no. But then
Yeah.
also, have you had a sneaky link? Whether that be you're fucking someone on the low and no one knows about it, but
Hell
you
yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
You
what the
fucking
hell?
someone on the low?
Yeah,
Okay, how many?
Of course. Idiot.
How many at the same time?
All right, man, single. Come on. Next question.
All right. Have you ever had sex on camera?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What the hell?
Like this? Like a tripod? No.
But
Wait, why am I answering
No, I've never used a tripod. I would just fucking like
GoPro?
prop it up.
Hell no. I would literally just have it right here in my hand. Just,
Oh yeah, I've done that too. But yeah, I'm not fucking.
no, you out here.
I don't have like lights and shit set up.
Yeah, no. Not like a camera guy. and
No,
shit?
one time he recorded me.
Yeah.
Yeah, on some weird shit.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, I hope this was a great segment for everybody here. If you guys want to see this more often, cool. We need more questions for sure. Hope you guys learned something from my mentor, the person that I look up to, even though he's a year
And me
older
too.
than me.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not older than you. You're older than me, bitch.
hell no, what the fuck? You're about to turn 28 next week. Anyways, but we both learn from each other. Like I said, you can learn from everybody. If you're that stubborn person that thinks that they're old enough to not learn from anybody, then
Yeah.
that's on you, But we learn from everybody, whether it's a mentor or not. I hope you guys learned something from this podcast. Hope you guys had fun on this podcast because we kind of did. This is when we're just like, you're gonna drink a little bit, we're gonna have fun with it, and it was what it was. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn those notifications on, just because it does help our algorithm. So like I said, we don't really care about this stuff, but
No, but
You
thank you to the ones that are watching, or the ones that
yeah, the ones that
Really
keep
though.
watching, even like. Whether it's like X amount of views or whatever, like I still go out and like I fuck with your podcast and like stuff like that.
I had that. I went to.
I'm literally like, really?
Bro, I was like,
you watched?
yeah, I was at the gym yesterday or 2 days ago in the morning, and he's like, "Hey, are you that one on the podcast?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "With Dom." And I was like, "What the hell,
Dude.
Like, yeah. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Huh?"
Yeah. Huh? What?
Yeah. But
That's
that's
fire,
cool.
though.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys do learn something. If you guys want to see this again, comment questions down below. I don't really, like I said, I don't really care for the views and like whatever the stuff is. This isn't necessarily just for you guys. But Mario does kind of like see everything. So if you guys have questions, want to see everything,
No, he holds
want
the floor
another
down.
segment, you guys want us to bring somebody on board, you guys want us to have somebody where that you want them on, like to just hear them out, we'll reach out. Doesn't hurt for us to reach out, and we'll do it. So let us know. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and go ahead and put those notifications on because we do drop every Thursday. And look out for next Thursday. We'll see you on the next pod.
Peace.